The reason why you're not retaining any length when you use protective styles is that when you take your style down, you never use conditioner and you always take down your hair when it's dry. This can cause a lot of breakage because you're taking your hair down when it's at a brittle state. So you need to add conditioner or a hair oil on and then take down your braids. When you take your protective style down, I suggest you pick a day where you know you're not busy and you know you're in an okay mood or a good mood. The reason for this is when you're rushing or when you're upset, the way you handle your hair will be very harsh. And so you're going to start ripping your hair out of your head, and that's also going to lead to a lot of breakage. When you use a conditioner to detangle your hair while you're taking your braids down, it will make your wash day process even shorter, and that way you won't have to detangle again after washing your hair. When it comes to natural hair, the one thing that moisturizes or hydrates your hair the most out of every single product is water. And that's why before adding shampoo, I just like to let my hair soak in all that moisture in and get all the hydration that it needs. When it comes to length retention, I think people tend to overlook the importance of wash days and taking your time during that period, because how you handle your hair during wash day determines whether or not you're going to retain length or not, especially during the detangling process. When it comes to cleansing, I prefer using a shampoo that's going to get my hair squeaky clean. So I prefer using regular shampoos, which are the ones that have sulfates, and you've probably heard in the natural hair community they have said that sulfates are bad for you, you're not supposed to use them. But personally, my hair has never had a problem with me using shampoos with sulfates, so I will continue using them. When it comes to the natural hair community, I would advise that if you're starting your natural hair journey, you have to understand that that community is maybe an okay stepping stone, but as time goes on, you'll start to understand that it can be a bit toxic, because a lot of people think there's only one way of doing natural hair. And if you dare do anything differently, let's say use products that they don't recommend or do a technique that they wouldn't do for their hair, then suddenly you're doing natural hair wrong. Obviously, this isn't true, and there is more than one way of growing or retaining length when it comes to your natural hair. My number one advice would be to take inspiration from a lot of content creators. Not to do exactly as they do, but take inspiration. If you want to try out exactly, everything that they do, then go ahead, try it. But a lot of the times what happens is people find out that it may be a bit too much for them, or it's not working for their hair, and then they think natural hair is the problem. But no, your hair is not the problem, it's the routine that is the problem. And so you might have to tweak it a bit to your to fit your schedule, or to fit your hair and how your hair feels. For some people, it might not be the routine that's the problem. It could be the products that are being used that are the problem. So you need to try out different products to see which one works well with your hair. So it's all about trial and error to cater to your natural hair. We might have the same hair texture, but the way our hair or our scalp reacts to products and the routine will be very different, because everybody's hair is unique. My goal for this channel is to teach you how to grow your natural hair without doing too much and without using too many products. Growing natural hair or learning about natural hair can be overwhelming for a lot of people, especially if you're starting out in your natural hair journey. So I want to make it easy for you. Now you might be wondering what makes me qualified to speak on this. Very easy. I have had to do 2 big chops, and when I say big chops, I mean like cut my hair and grow it from scratch. The first one I did was in 2019, and I used to have relaxed hair, and then I decided, in my final year of high school, to just get rid of it. I couldn't handle the burns on my scalp anymore. I hated relaxing, and so I decided to cut my hair. And then I grew it, and then in 2022 I started experiencing some hair loss, mainly because I think 2 reasons. One was a lot of stress. I was going through a very difficult time. And the second reason that added on to the hair loss was I was trying a lot of the different trends that were happening in the natural hair community, and I was using a lot of different products which caused a lot of damage to my hair and my scalp. And so I had no choice but to cut it, but I cut it in 2023 in March. And ever since March, I've been keeping my routine very simple. The products, minimal products been used, and so I've been growing my hair ever since. I will say that for me, growing natural hair has been easier, and having done 2 big chops, I will say growing natural hair has been easier than having relaxed hair. When my hair was relaxed, my scalp would hurt a lot. I would have what are these? They're called scabs on my head because of all the burns. My hair was thin. It was long. It was around shoulder length, if you consider that long. But for years, it was stuck at shoulder length. It wouldn't get longer. It didn't feel like my hair was growing. And I have had relaxed hair since I was a kid. I honestly don't remember having an afro as a kid. I think my mom would relax my hair at a very young age, and so I only knew relaxed hair, but it would not grow past shoulder length. But with my natural hair, I can feel my hair is thicker. It's actually growing. I see my hair growing, unlike when it was relaxed. Another point to add on to why I hated relaxed hair is that it would break off. I would comb my hair and it would feel like it was just a lot of shedding would happen. So yeah, I was not really a fan of relaxed hair at all. And also, I did not think it suited me. I don't think I looked beautiful with relaxed hair as I do with my natural hair. My relaxed hair was thin, I looked really weird. I don't know how to explain it, but it would feel flat on my head. It felt like, when you eat a mango and then you finished it and then you start licking the thing. It felt like that. It felt like someone licked the top of my head and just brushed the hair back. I feel like that's the best way to explain it. Someone licked my head. But with my natural hair, I feel like there's a more fuller look. It looks thicker, healthier. I prefer natural hair. But if you have relaxed hair and you love it, that's great for you. I'm speaking from a point of I didn't like the relaxed hair. So if you love your relaxed hair, that's great. But for me, no, I feel like natural hair is easier to take care of. It suits me a lot better. I look good with an afro. Even when my hair was shorter than this, I used the sponge thing. I don't know what you call it, but the little sponge that normally guys use. I used it on my short hair, and it made me look like I was growing out like mini locks. It looked really nice, and I was very confident in that compared to when I had relaxed hair. I forgot to add the clip of me deep conditioning my hair, but before protective style, I normally use the hair mayonnaise by Originals, and I will leave that on for an hour to 2 hours. I'll wear a plastic bag over my head with a bonnet to make sure that my hair absorbs it using the heat from the plastic bag. When it comes to protective styling, I normally alternate between 2 hairstyles, so that's mini braids and mini twists. But most of the time, I think for the first half of this year, I did mini braids. So in this video, I did mini braids, and then I think around July, I started to do mini twists. So I have mini twists on right now, and I think I'm going to stick to mini twists for the rest of the year. Mini braids tend to last longer, and so I can wash them weekly and I won't have to redo them until the end of the month. Whereas with mini twists, I have to wash once every 2 weeks, and then at the end of the month, I'll redo them. So before I start braiding my hair, I like to use a water-based product. So in this video, I was using the Afro Botanics Black Pearl Hair Juice, and then afterwards I use grease. When it comes to re-moisturizing my hair, I normally re-moisturize maybe once a week, sometimes twice a week, but most of the time it's only once. and I tend to alternate between grease or hair butter or hair oil. But the base product is always a water-based product, so that could be the product I just mentioned, the Black Pearl hair juice, or I will use the Auntie Jackie's hair milk, and then I'll go in with a second product. The most important thing when it comes to protective styling or natural hair in general, and when you want to retain length, is to focus on your ends. So when you're moisturizing your hair, make sure you always add that little extra moisture to your ends. So whatever product you're using, pay extra attention to your ends. Another important tip when it comes to protective styling is to don't braid your hair too tight, and be very gentle when you handle your hair. So whenever I do mini braids or mini twists, my hair is tight enough that it won't unravel, but not so tight that my scalp is red. Now I want to make it clear that you don't need to use protective styles to grow your hair. It's not the only way to grow your hair. You can wear your hair out all the time and still grow it. The only thing is it's going to take a lot more attention from you and care, and that's why I just prefer using protective styles, because I feel like it makes everything easier and I don't have to pay much attention to my hair, because honestly I am a lazy person. Not that I don't have time, I'm unemployed, I'm at home, I have all the time in the world, but I'm too lazy to constantly have to pay so much attention to my hair. And so I would rather do a protective style, put it in, forget until it's time to re-moisturize my hair, and that's it. When it comes to wearing my hair out, when I have mini braids in, I feel like it's at an awkward length. So with mini braids, it looks a bit awkward, so I tend to wear a head wrap. But when I have my mini twists in, they give me a fuller look, and I can do a little style with bobby pins in the front. And so I tend to wear my hair out more with mini twists, more than I do with mini braids. If you ever decide to subscribe to my channel and watch more of my videos, I will say that the one thing I will always preach is to be patient, not in just waiting for your hair to get at a certain length that you're comfortable in, but being patient in the way that you handle your hair. So when you take your hair down, you have to be patient. When you put your hair in, you have to not rush through the process. So your technique is very important, and the best way is to be patient in everything that you do when it pertains to your natural hair. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I will be posting more content on how to retain length and grow healthy natural hair, specifically for my coily haired girlies. Thank you for watching, and subscribe.